Welcome back to the Melanated Opinion. I'm Crystal.
I'm Shanita.
Takara.
And I'm Melissa.
And on today's show, we're going to be talking about something that we all have heard about and have said something about it. And it's more going to be about the younger generation and how they are viewed. Like, do they really have it easy, or are we picking on them? And so today, that's what we're going to be talking about. And today we have a special guest with us. We have Kay Denise, and she is part of the younger generation. So Melissa has a little help with her here today. So Kay Denise, you want to say hello to everyone?
Hi everyone, I am Kay Denise. I'm 19-year-old that attends J State University.
Well, yes, thank you for being here with us. And so since today we're going to be talking about do the young generation feel picked on? Let me just ask that question. Do y'all feel like the whole world is picking on y'all?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm laughing, but it's really serious because I really feel like, y'all are taking it kind of hard. Like, y'all really feel like people don't understand y'all. Like, is there anything specific that you can think of that you hear over and over and over?
Our mindsets. That's the major one I've noticed is our mindset. We are too grown for our age. That's the biggest one for me.
What does that mean? Like, you too grown for your age? Do they want you to be more immature, or is it what does that mean?
Growing up in an older, like grandma and grandmother house territory, it's more of, you always in grown folks' business. You need to stay in a child's place. But your mindset is in grown folks' business area instead of a child's area.
And I feel like, just to jump off or piggyback on what she was saying, like, that was told to us so much. And it's just like, when we used to ask why, or like we're children, we're curious, we're going to ask questions. And it was like, we should just know better. Like, that's not how it works. We're kids. Why would we not ask questions? Like, just say, can you ask before you interrupt us? Like, y'all could have said it a different way, but it was just said so rudely, like, why are y'all speaking and while grown folks talking? Like, that's not how kids work. We're children.
You're people. That's what you're saying. You're still people. You're just little people.
Right. We don't have the same common sense that y'all have.
I mean, so for me, listening to y'all, what I hear is that, like, that's how we were raised. It's kind of like, we were raised to be seen and not heard. So that's how we're going to treat y'all, because that's how we were raised. And so I think y'all generation's kind of like, yeah, that we're not rolling with that. Like, I don't care if that's how y'all did it, but we're not going to do that. And y'all are more like rebelling. It's not even like a soft rebel. It's like, nope, I'm not doing any of it.
I wouldn't call it rebelling, because I kind of feel like it's right and wrong, and that part of it was wrong. Like, I still feel like that goes into, like, we were told that we're disrespectful a lot, but that's because a lot of the Black community goes off of, respect your elders. I don't go by that. If you disrespect me, I'm going to disrespect you back. I don't care how old you are.
So, as we was taught in school, respect is earned and not given. Age does not require you to get the respect regardless. If I come to you nice, ask you a nice question, you come up all rude, it's going to change my mood to say, oh, you're disrespectful. I do not give you a time and place to give you my breath to speak to you. That's how I feel like nowadays going into the real life world as a young adult.
So, that whole, staying out of grown folks' business, it was something that I was told as a child. And it is something that I also find myself telling my 4-year-old. Now, I couldn't see myself saying that to, a 20-something-year-old, because at this point you are grown. So I couldn't see why somebody I mean, do you guys that to you now?
I would say people try to be like, well, I have more knowledge than you because I'm older, which can be true sometimes, but you can't just say you know so much more than me just because you're older. You have no idea what I know. You have no idea how I was raised. And it's just like they automatically disqualify anything that we say just because we're younger than them.
And I can see that. Do you feel like what they are saying actually could be knowledgeable, or is it the fact that they're trying to, get you to listen to them and not talk?
Basically, it's with me, it's in between. Is because yeah, you older, you can still teach me things as like life goes on, but you come out rude. Still, it's a factor. Tone with me having the discipline that I have, the tone causes a lot of mischief in communication. You tell me, oh, this and that you're younger than me, you can't do this. A lot of people my age have to mature around 7, 8, 9 years old, had to learn life fast. So what you know as a 30-some-year-old, an 8, 9-year-old can know right then and there.
So I have a question. If someone didn't come at you in a disrespectful way and it wasn't a bad tone, but they're still telling you the same thing, would you receive it then? Or would you still go against it?
I personally feel like they wouldn't even have to say that if they were actually as knowledgeable and or wise as they claim they are. Because it's like, I feel like only people that say that don't really know what they're talking about. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really knew what you was talking about, you wouldn't even have to say nothing like that. I would just be receiving it. Do you know what I mean?
Or either they will take you under their wing and help you be a mentor. Nowadays, there is nobody who wants to be a mentor. I didn't get my first mentor until like I was going into my sophomore year of high school.
Okay, and so when you say mentor, what was this person doing that's differently than like the normal adult does?
This is what we never, like our generation, we never have this class in school now. Teaching me financial things, credit, how to build your credit, how to pull out a loan, how to save, how to have like a vision board, where you want to be in life around 5, 10 years from now. I had that mentor who was like, okay, Caleb, you're a hothead, but 5, 10 years now, the way how you going right now, you're not going to make it in life. So you got a great mindset. Your head is on straight. But what can you do before these 5 to 10 years later on happens to you? What can you change? That's what our generation, we need more of people, you know what I'm saying, open our minds even more. We so closed-minded to the point to where we don't like people telling us what to do. Because we feel like you're going to come at me wrong, I'm going to come back at you as wrong. And 2 wrongs don't make it right.
And I kind of feel like, based off of what you just said, I think we do that whole I don't want nobody telling us what to do things because, like how you said, it's how you say it. A lot of adults in the Black community, they don't say nothing right. They just come at us and it's all rah, rah, rah. So we like, you're not my mom. I'm not about to listen to you. Like, who are you? And I kind of feel like it's really in a correct manner to where we can receive it.
Okay, so for you feel like it's the way that they come at you and approach you. And I can say from my perspective and a lot of other parents that I've talked to, they feel like, your generation, it's the way that they speak and the way that they talk. Y'all are not really approachable sometimes. It's hard to try to tell you or guide you something, but y'all are not even open enough to listen. So this is what we're seeing. Like, we're kind of like, well, I just want to help you and I just want to tell you what I see and the mistakes that I've made or the road that I see you're going down. But if I get like 2 seconds in and you're already catching an attitude or you've already stopped me or you don't want to hear me, like, it's kind of like, so you just want to go down that path and you don't want anyone to help you. That's how we see it. So for us, it's kind of like, no, I'm just gonna say this is how I see it. Regardless of how I say it, whether it's aggressive or it's polite, it's gonna be received the same way.
But
you can go first.
I was gonna say, just going off what you just said, Mom. Oh my goodness, I just forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, it's okay. Casey,
Yeah, I
you
completely
go.
forgot.
So picking out basically what you're saying, with our generation, social media started coming out. So what we see on social media is the same way. We're more, how would I say? In the Bible, they say each generation is going to get weaker and more wiser. So we're mentally weak, but our mindset is wiser than a normal, like 30-some-year-old. Like we're so, how would I break it down? When I mean like we're mentally weak is the point we take everything the wrong way. Like, you talk to us nice, but the way it sounds aggressive, it's gonna come back aggressive. I'm just naturally aggressive. So a lot of people are like, you got an attitude. I'm like, I don't have an attitude. I'm just aggressive. So it's keep pushing. It's an argument back to back to back. And I'm just saying, I don't have an attitude. Now you push me into the mood that I'm finna just snap back and just say, leave me alone, don't bother me. That's how we are as a generation. We're mentally weak, just smarter than an average person.
But just
And
think of how much more. Oh, sorry, Melissa, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I don't want you to forget.
What I was gonna say after my mom is, a lot of times it's not helping. We're getting projections. Do you know what I mean? We get the things that y'all wish y'all would have did, and we do not want to do that at all. But it's kind of like, well, I'm trying to help you. You know, you're not listening to me. That's not what it be. Y'all don't be trying to help us. You try to make us do what you want us to do. And we don't want to do that. We still have our own life to live. And I'm not just saying our parents. I'm talking about anybody, like our aunts, uncles, teachers, whoever. A lot of people do it.
So I think what you're saying is that, like, sometimes we have expectations or things that we think your life should go or what you should do in your life. And y'all are kind of like, well, that's not the path that I want to take. And I don't need to take that path in order to be successful. Like, I've heard you say that. And I think that's a major issue for my generation and people older than me when we're trying to, like, you know, possibly guide the younger generations. Because, like, I know a lot of people who are older than me say all kids need to go to college in order to be successful. And it's kind of like, they're in their mind, if you don't take that path, you're on the wrong path and you're not going to have a good life. So I can see how y'all would be like, well, you're trying to guide me on something that don't even interest me, or that I want to do, or that I don't think is going to make me successful. So I can see that part. I don't know if it's necessarily projections. I think it's just their version of what they think is the best thing for you.
No, I know it's 100% projection. I'm not saying everybody, but I know people have projected what they wish their life would have been like onto me, or what they think onto me. I know for a fact they have done it.
But think about it this way. I don't know who made the first burger, but you got so many different chains of people that makes burgers now. So what if that one person would have said, oh, well, you know, this is the only way it needs to be, or it can't get any better? Then we wouldn't have any other food chains that sell delicious burgers. So for y'all thinking like, oh no, because y'all done been there, let me live my life. But sometimes you have to take what other people already have the knowledge of and add to it, and that can make your life a lot better than what it is. Some struggles y'all don't have to go through if you just listen some. And I get what you're saying about, you know, some people are trying to push that off, because people have said that, you know, well, I didn't get to do this when I was in high school, so I wanted to live through you. I get that, but everybody is not like that. Like, I think y'all have to kind of heed to what people are saying and take what you can and grow from it, because y'all make so many mistakes thinking I could just do it on my own. You know, I know what's best, when you don't.
So
It's kind of
I'm sorry, go ahead, Melissa.
no, you can go.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say it's kind of hard to do that when every time, I'm not gonna say every time, but a lot of the times I try to ask an adult for guidance, or they're just, telling me some guidance. It has to do with the American dream. I don't want to live the American dream. That's what a lot of older adults have instilled in their head, that they, school, college, work for the, until you retire. I don't want to do that. And that's usually their advice. And I don't want to take that. They're not even in a place that I would like to be. So why would I take advice from you?
So what would you want to do?
What do I want to do in my life? Mm-hmm. I would like to be living comfortably, financially free. I would like to live off the grid. I don't have to worry about bills, taxes, credit. I don't want to do none of that. That's what personally I would like to do. But we'll see.
But back in the days, they was kind of living off the grid because they was making their own food, planting and stuff like that. So a lot of people don't do that now. But who would you get the knowledge from? Somebody that was older.
But they don't want to do that. No, there's a whole agenda behind that. That's another topic. That's a whole other topic. Okay, he's talking about that right now. I know Kaylin said something about social media, and I also kind of feel like she said, social media was kind of getting big with our generation. So it's kind of making us feel like we're really behind. Do you get what I mean?
Like how?
We feel like we're behind in life. Like that's a lot of, I don't know if y'all know, but that's a lot of the reason why a lot of people our age are depressed.
All right,
What do you
I'm gonna pick up on that. The reason why, social media set standards. With our generation, by this age, you need to have this house. By this time, you need to have this car. You need to have this credit by this age. It's that type of standard that we try to live up to just to make you guys proud. But we feel like, we're what? Melissa, you're what, 21?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 19. I'm still working on credit. I'm still going through school. I'm trying to start a business. I got to pull out loans. I have to do this. I'm trying to figure all this out just to live that dream life that I want. And the life that I want to live, the lifestyle that I'm trying to live, does not match my paycheck.
So do you, yeah, that is everybody. But do you really think that your parents are like, people that care about you really want you to have all these things right now at your age?
They have a timeline for when we should have stuff. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm about to, because, it's the whole thing of, you should be having fun right now. But we also need to be dating, getting married, having kids in the house as well.
House, money, financial job. They want that big picture in their head for us. And we're like, no, I probably don't want kids never. Or till like my late 30s. I want to travel more. I want to get more degrees. Like I tell my grandma all the time, I do not want a child because like that's giving up my wig money, my shoes money, my heels. I'm giving up stuff that I want.
But how is social media, I guess, making y'all feel that y'all behind with those things? Because those are things that I wanted when I was a young child before social media got big.
Okay, so let's explain how we grew up on social media. Boom, YouTubers was never big when we was in I don't even say high school, elementary. It was never big because YouTube started in 2007, became big in 2007. Then you come up to like when we hit middle school, I started middle school 2013 to 2016. That's when YouTubers started, getting to the start of it, where they was recording daily live, how they did this. Now we get to high school, 2016 for me, 2016 to 2020. They got mansions, they got Lamborghinis, they got Mercedes-Benz, they got great credit. They're getting paid just to post content of how their everyday life is just on YouTube. And they're getting paid money, thankfully. So watching that seeing that going on through social media on big platforms like that, like YouTube, we're like, we want to do stuff like that. We want to get paid like that. We trying to get houses just like that. So we compare our lives to YouTubers, celebrities, how they get paid on how they get paid. That's how we affect us.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of people in our generation are some of these big content creators, and it's like, okay, we're making it out. So it's like, I want to do that too. Like, where is my big, my overnight sensation video that's gonna put me on the map? Like, where is it at? So it's just like we're seeing we're seeing our generation come up, but it's just kind of hard because it's like, well, we want to do it too. It's not, everybody's not able to do that.
So basically, we like crabs in a barrel. Our generation, like how big black folks, we are crabs in a barrel. If one make it up, we got to pull it right back down. That's how we are now. Not to speak bad on our generation, but it's so many people doing so many of the same things. We're like, okay, how can we be different from that person that they're doing the same exact thing?
I feel like with that kind of goes back to what we've been saying. If you listen to older people a little bit more and talk to them just like you're talking to us, then maybe you can get a little bit more insight on how to do that, because quick money ain't always the best way to go. Like, sometimes you can get it just as fast as you can lose it, but it's the ones that have actually researched and prepared, and they can get a lot farther in life than, because right now everything is a trend. As soon as that one trend is over with, what happened? Where you going then? That's why you have other things to kind of fall back on. But I think, to me, sometimes y'all generation, you just want this one thing, but it's not always one thing. It's millionaires, they have multiple streams of income coming from different type of places. So if one thing crashed, they still have a backup plan.
A lot of the people, I mean, just by me hearing you say, if we just listen to the older generation, we might learn something. Just by you saying that, I don't know. A lot of the older generation is asleep. If I'm being honest, they're asleep. Like, they would never get, like, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You're kind of in the middle of the generation that I'm talking about in us. So it's like, I don't know if you actually realize how asleep they are. Like, they will never be able to have a regular conversation with us about what I want to do, because they didn't even learn that till way later themselves.
You see a lot of athletes in the news going to jail, or what I'm saying, end up with charges, anything legally, but you don't know what's going on with them mentally. You don't know what's going on physically. Doesn't know anything like that. So I go to things to where it comes down in the news. You see a lot of Black men in jail. For what reason? Because we're Black and we are stereotypical all day, every day. So we can't help anything. So that's why I went too straight to figuring out what goes through other people's minds. Might not be much money a year, but at least it helps the race, or it helps the generation on down. It's like we're not trying to fit in a box. We're trying to be outside the box.
And I get that. Oh, go ahead.
Are you sure? Okay. I would say, speaking of money, I kind of feel like we're looked on about how we treat our jobs as well. Like, we quit our job because, we get mistreated. We get in, people are being racist towards us. And the older generation's like, why do y'all keep leaving? Y'all need to learn how to stay somewhere. And it's like, no, I'm not finna, like, you can literally tell when they're trying to make you a slave at the job. I'm not staying there. I'm not staying there. And we get talked about so much for quitting like that, because we don't want to live that type of life. I'm not going to sit there and work while they trying to have me being a slave at this job. That's not how that works. Like,
our tolerance is very low. Like, our generation tolerance for bullcrap is very low, because how would I say it? The generation before y'all, I would say that they had to tolerate, because that's the only way how they can get through life without getting killed, touched, lynched, anything. But when we speak about it, oh, well, Dr. Martin Luther King did this for us and this and that. He'd be turning his grave. I don't want to hear that. Because we speak on what our mind, I have no filter. When I feel like you're being disrespectful to me or you working me like a dog, I'm going to tell you, I'm not doing this. Or I have to either pull out legal paperwork for you to sign saying you're doing this and doing that. I got to go through corporate. I'm not finna tolerate it. It's really low.
And for us, I think we're thinking more of like, how are you going to live tomorrow? Like, how are you going to eat? How are you going to have, money to pay your car note or gas to get around? Like, that's what we're thinking. Like, of course, you shouldn't just take anything, but it's also like, how are you going to live the next day? Like, if you are, if you're being mistreated at work and let's just say you quit. If you decide to quit, like, how are you going to live the next day? That's what we're thinking.
I mean, yes, that's logical, but for me, for myself, I have to know I'm going to be okay. It's like, I can no longer put up with this. I'm about to leave. I know I'm going to be okay. I'm not about to be at the house freaking out, struggling, crying. I'm not about to do all that because it's going to attract a downfall, if that makes sense. It's going to attract me not having money to pay my bills. It's going to attract, me not being able to get another job. But if I have that mindset, I'm going to be okay, I'm going to get through this, I'm going to get something even better that pay me even more. If I have that mindset, it will come to me. A lot of people don't think like that, and they don't realize that works. Once you realize that technique actually works, you're going to be okay, especially when you're leaving something toxic like that. I feel like a lot of people will start doing that.
But do some of that crutch come from you knowing that you have people that's gonna help you if you get down to it? So you say,
when I tell you can ask my mama, I wait to the last minute, like the very last minute I have to ask for help. I hate asking people for help. I hate it. I don't know why, but I hate it.
It's a pride thing. For our generation, when I'm going to just say, from me growing up from the situation I grew up in, being taught how to be independent at a younger age, I'm so much I got to go get this on my own. My mama did so much for me, whoop-de-whoop. I got to do this on my own. I was so ready to get a job at the age of 11 because I want my own money, my own everything. As Black parents say, when you want some McDonald's, you got McDonald's money. Yup, I do. And what about it?
I definitely agree on that part. Yes.
I mean, I see that and I get that, you want to have your own, but I think from a parent perspective, it's still kind of like, well, yeah, you have your own, but I also feel like if push comes to shove, I have to make sure I have enough money to like help you out, even though you don't ask for it. Like, I can't see you out on the street. I'm not going to see you, out of gas. So regardless of what decisions you make, it's still going to affect me because I have to have an extra amount of cushion if I feel like, there could be a just in case moment. You never know. You want to make sure you always have it for your child. So in y'all mind, it's kind of like, well, I have it, I'm going to make sure I have it. And whatever it takes, I'm going to get it. And so for us, it's kind of like, well, yeah, but just in case, I need to make sure that you're going to be okay.
We need to make sure we have savings too.
Right. So how could you get that if you like leaving jobs constantly?
You supposed to already have that before you leave. You supposed
Not
to save it out of
necessarily.
every check.
Well, everybody don't think like that because I can honestly say I didn't really learn about the 401ks or even, I'm not going to say learn, I didn't care about investing in that until later on when I had already been on a job for years. So it's just like what you make now and what you're saving is for your retirement. But if something comes up and you kind of have to start dipping into that, once you start dipping into your money, like it kind of goes quicker. So it's just like if you staying on a job for a long period of time, then that's building up your retirement too.
I don't even look at it that way because I don't even want to retire. Like I'm not gonna say that. I want to retire when I'm like 25. Like I am not working for 40 years. I refuse. I don't even want to work now. No. Mm-mm. I cannot work for 40 years.
I think
I won't have a 401k. I'm sorry, but it's not gonna be much in there because I'm not doing it.
With our generation, we do not like working under people. We do not. And I'm gonna put my right hand up to the Lord. Lord, forgive me if you know. But we do not like working under other people because we think logical and we think reasonable at the same time. Why do you want me to go all the way across the store when I can easily just whoop wham and I'm there? Or the task that employers give us as younger employees be so out of pocket that we just like, okay, what is the reason? So with me being 19, I work a full-time job, go to school full-time, and I got a full-time business. Not only that, I'm part-time in the military. That's 4 different incomes coming in at one time. And trying to balance that is hard, but still, time to play.
So do y'all think that, I know you mentioned social media kind of helps influence your mindset as well. So do you think that it's social media that's making you think that jobs are treating you this way and they really not? It's just maybe something you just have to do on the job, but because you think, oh, they targeted me, or they treat me like this because I'm a child or I'm younger, then that's why. But it may not be that way. It just may be the way you're perceiving it.
Let me go first on this one. All right.
Yeah. Go
No,
ahead,
ma'am. Social media has not had our mindset like that. Okay. So let me explain why we say I say no. Because for one, everybody has their own bad days. Everybody go through stuff at home. Everybody has their own personal things going on. But when you come to work, well, like I tell my dancers at practice, leave your attitude and your problems at this door. Because when we practice, we're dancing. I need a clear mind. When you come to work, it's the same way. Now, if I show that I got, say great work ethic, I'm doing my job, that don't mean because your other workers are slacking, you make me work like a slave. That's not how we work right here. You get on the other workers and have the same work ethic as I do, get them to do what they got to do, and we would have had a great day. My issue is when I tell us, and my team leads or my coaches, and they be yelling at me, got an attitude, how are you today? You feeling all right? What's going through your head mentally? Because right now, you need a break. You have a great day. And I go about my business. That's how you de-escalate a situation of attitudes or having a conflict out of nowhere.
And I mean, I guess for me, I know it's definitely not because of social media that we think that we're getting treated differently at jobs. I mean, I honestly kind of feel like one is because we're young and they think that they're better than us. And it's kind of like, I think that they see that we can leave at any moment and you're going to need help. And that kind of like upsets them. Do you get what I mean? So they treat us, it's kind of authority thing or like a intimidation thing. I think that's how they do me because like they know that we can up and leave at any time. You need me, remember? I don't need you.
I need you.
Yeah, but I also feel like that's just kind of how it is at jobs, because at every job it's people. And so people don't know how to act in positions. Like managers don't know how to be appropriate managers. And sometimes you just have to work around it. That's the way that we see it. And so it's not necessarily that because y'all are younger, it's because they are people and they don't know how to manage people. They don't know how to talk to people. And my generation is kind of like, well, I need a job. So depending on the person, I'm going to say something to you, or I'm going to leave, or I'm going to do something because I need this money. And yeah, what you're making me do, I feel like, it's ridiculous. And I may say something to you, but if what you want me to do is collect my money and do this ridiculous act, I don't have a problem doing it. As long as I'm on the clock doing it and it's not like super crazy, me personally, I don't have a problem doing it as long as you're paying me a good amount.
And I agree, because that's how I am. I mean, it's a lot of stuff I don't like, but it's not worth it, because when you got real bills, those don't stop. And once you get older, you're gonna start to realize that some of the stuff that could have been avoided. People sometimes treat you how you allow them to. So if they see that they can get under your skin or they can make you mad with one easy thing, they're gonna do it, because what they gonna get out of it? Yes, they can possibly fire you, but as soon as they fire you, they hire somebody else. So they still not gonna be the ones doing it. They're gonna hire somebody to do it. That's why a lot of turnover rates are really high with jobs. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, you just gotta give them what they deserve. Sometimes giving them what they deserve is showing them that you're better, that, you can take the high road, you can still be respectful and still tell them, certain things. You don't have to do all this and get mad. Like, what is that gonna solve?
For one, I'm not finna turn no cheek. That's just not, I done did that. Y'all, I don't know why. I'm 21. I don't know why I don't feel like I've done that for 50 years, but I'm done turning the other cheek. Like, I cannot do that. Like, you're not about to talk to me crazy. You're not better than me. We finna stop that right now. We're dating that right now. Let's get that under control. But it's just like, some people need stuff said to them, because it's a lot of people at the job that think like that. Do you get what I mean? We're probably one of the only people that's going to say something to them. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, who is that helping? We're trying to help the people that's coming after us.
But you still can in a tactful way.
No.
Like, I can tell you that you're wrong, but without it being just, rude and nasty. And to me, that has a better impact than it is with you just going off on them.
I wouldn't say going off, but I'm going to hurt their feelings, though. Their feelings are definitely going to be hurt, but it's going to be said, in a professional manner, maybe, depending on what you said to me. But I just honestly feel like it's not worth, I'm not going to say kissing up to them, but that's just kind of how I see it. Like, I don't know. I just can't do that. It's like, I'll be boiling inside whenever they be talking to me crazy and trying to make me do something. I don't know. I just can't do it.
Picking out, all right. A lot of older people do not like us younger people saying boundaries. There is certain lines you can cross with me that will instantly just have me go back to, being hot-headed. And I let people know now, because back younger, I let people run over me. I do whatever, I would get up. Now I got boundaries. You can't make me do nothing. You don't pay my car note. You don't pay my car insurance. You don't put no gas in my car. You can't make me do nothing unless you know what I'm saying? It's something in for me. Now, explaining boundaries to adults that's like, 10, 20 years older than us, they feel like we're being disrespectful. Now, I want to hear y'all opinions of how we set our boundaries with you guys. That's my question. Why can our generation set boundaries, but y'all can't? Because even though y'all 10 plus years older than us, why is that an issue with us?
It's not an issue of setting boundaries. It's how you set them and how you, come at a person. And just like you don't want to be disrespected or talk to any type of way, we don't either. And for me, it's just like, I feel like we have a little bit more sympathy for you than anybody else would, because we actually want your best interest in heart. So it's a difference in setting boundaries and us just watching you fail. I'm not gonna let you. At the end of the day, I'm gonna say I did everything it was that I could to make sure you had the opportunity to get to a certain level. Now, if you didn't take it, that's on you. You can't say nobody ever told you or you didn't know nothing about it. You just didn't listen.
And I'll say from a parent perspective, for me, it's kind of like the whole boundaries thing is kind of weird, because I know for me, it's kind of like, well, I have clothed you and bathed you and fed you and struggled and not did all this and that. And I also know a lot of people in my circle that have done the exact same thing for their kids. And then it's kind of like, it does not always come across as being appreciative. So it's kind of like the boundaries you're setting is kind of like saying you don't appreciate the struggle that I went through to make sure that you were okay. And then that causes a gap for us, because it's kind of like I've given what I can give, and you don't appreciate it. It's from a parent perspective. So it's not that you're setting, but we have problems with the boundaries. It's the fact that we have given so much to y'all and y'all don't even, it seems like you don't appreciate it, is how it comes across.
So I guess off of that, I mean, do y'all not see us as adults or people? Because I feel like, yes, y'all are the parents, but we still, like, I still feel like we should be respected. We should be able to have boundaries. Like, what's wrong with that? Just because y'all are our parents.
Well, it's kind of like, let's say you're staying with a guy and you're paying all the bills and you're cleaning the house and all he does is play video games and go shoot basketball with his homeboys. You come home from work and he say, can you fix me some dinner? I'm hungry. And he's like, I'm setting boundaries because I want you to know what my expectation is. And you like, hold up, wait a minute now. I done did all this and that. And you think you finna tell me what to do in my house where I'm paying all the bills? No, that's not gonna happen, is what you're gonna say. That's how parents see it. Not necessarily that you're not doing anything, but that in order for you to survive and live, you're trying, like, that's basically me making sure that you survive and live, and it doesn't seem appreciative, like you are appreciating it.
Okay, so do y'all know that there's more to it than just, basically having, what happened?
It's more than the physical part.
Yeah, like it's
really
like we be having emotional trauma from that, just from our parents. We do. And it's just like, it's more than just, like she said, the physical things.
And I think
do you express that?
We can't a lot of times. We're not able to.
Yeah, I 100% agree with them. For me and for other parents, it's kind of like, well, we're more in survival mode. I don't have time to worry about your feelings and you're saying a teacher don't like you or whatever, because I'm too busy trying to make sure that you can just open your eyes and live. And y'all are kind of like, well, the inside of me is not okay. And the parent is not as concerned about the inside of you always. They're more concerned about, like, what can I see? Like, are you able to get up? Are you able to clean your room? Are you able to go to school? Are you able to do this? And are you able to do that? That's what a parent is looking at. And they're like, as long as your leg isn't broke, you're fine. I don't care what you're going through mentally. I need you to just snap out of it, because if there were people who went through worse than what you went through a long time ago and they made it, you will be okay too. So yeah, I get it, because that's what we as parents think.
Like, tapping in back to what I was saying earlier, like when I said growing up, I grew up in a Christian house. Our generation, we are so wise. Like, our mindset is 10-10. But our mental health, our mental state, not there. And it's like, it's not to the point that, we let social media and all this new stuff coming around us, technology helping us. It's really what we grew up in, like the household, how we was raised, how we supposed to look on life, all that. It just caused us to go into a mental health block. And we need help.
How could we help y'all? Like, when you're feeling like that, what is it that you're needing from our generation or older generations to help y'all get through that?
Like y'all tell us, we need to listen more instead of speaking. The same way is vice versa. We need y'all to stop. Oh, well, I told you this and I said, no, we don't need that. We be like, okay, you sit there, you listen. Here's your questions. All right, so what can I do to help you with this? Or what can I change to help you with this? Or what can you change? Like, questions like those would help us most definitely. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't suffer from mental health issues, because I do. I suffer from anxiety. I do go to depressions. I'm a college student, so I'm gonna stress myself out all day, every day. I'm going to, because I want this degree. I want my business. So that's why I said what I said about we are weak mentally.
And I definitely agree with that. Like, when we're trying to express something to you, or if we're saying a teacher don't like us, like for us to even bring that to you, that means it has been going on for weeks, months, you know what I'm saying? And we're trying to bring it to you and you like, well, I don't really care about that right now. So it's like, okay, now we're going into depression. Now we dreading going to school. And it's just like, that's why I feel like that's why the suicide rate was so high. And all the parents was like, well, I don't know what was going on with them. Of course you don't, because we were never able to tell y'all that.
Or either take the time to figure out. I had noticed that with me, if y'all notice, a lot of people in the military, active duty people in the military, is actually our generation. Y'all want to know why our suicidal rates has went up by like 15%? Last year it's like 30 something. Right now it's up 46%. The reason why my generation be going straight there, because we think that's an escape. But with our psychiatrists that we have in the military system, where they don't listen. They just like the older generation. They do not listen. They just tell us we're crazy and nothing's going on, and you need to suck it up and keep kicking because you signed yourself up for this. It happened, of course. I witnessed it.
I definitely agree. It's very hard to find a Black therapist or a therapist in the Black community. You know, I'm just trying to say it's very hard for us to find one that will actually listen and not try to put us on pills. It's very hard. They don't listen to us either.
Where I would say they will instantly say, oh, well, you have bipolar depression. No, we don't. We just full of anger. We just a ball full of anger, and we cannot release it because here comes the negative energy. That's what we don't want, and we keep that right back in the box, hidden in. And I understand why people like, you can't hold it in, you need to express this, no. Because if we express it, we come off rude, angry, confused, lost. We all different types of adjectives on how we feel. And that's not how we feel. We just feel like we're not being heard.
I mean, because I'm really like, what can I do? And y'all are saying y'all are not being heard, but I kind of feel like, like what you said, when I do try to like make sure I'm listening to you, there becomes some type of misunderstanding, and then the message gets all distorted, and there is no understanding. And I want to put myself in your shoes, but I mean, even with this conversation, I feel like I still can't fully get it. Like I still don't fully get why the anger. To me, I feel like that y'all are saying the anger is from not being heard, from not having all of your needs met. And I'm more still with my generation that's kind of like, well, if it's not, physically killing me, I'm going to push through it. And y'all are more like, it's not just about being physical. It's about being emotional too. And that's just as valuable. So maybe that's what y'all are saying.
Where like, I literally will write a paper. Like, why should work and school should have mental health days? Because growing up like you, I had middle school, I lost 2 of my classmates due to suicide. We didn't know. We as students, we knew, and we kept telling people, like, you need to talk to him or you need to talk to her. They not mentally here. Well, if they over here smile, I'm gonna tell you, our generation can smile, can hide depression, suicidal thoughts behind a mask and a smile. I've seen it happen multiple times. We hide it so well to where we can't be read correctly.
And so why is that if you see someone trying to help you or trying to listen, but you shut down and you don't, disclose that information or you don't talk to them?
Like, I'm gonna say with my peers, like going through depression, I think it's a time when you feel like you're comfortable enough. Okay, boom, bam, I'm ready to tell you how I feel right now. It's really, I wouldn't even say it's a time. I will never put anybody in depression on the time. I would never, how they want to come up, because a lot of people is not comfortable with talking on how they feel or on their emotions. I'm not comfortable. with talking to people about my emotions. It's hard. Cause one out of many reasons that I know for sure come from my experience, people brush my feelings off. Or tell me that's not how you're gonna really feel and that you're not gonna make it in life like that. That's the biggest issue. You should not tell anyone that your feelings is not valid or brush them off, because that's gonna make them feel like, oh well, you don't care. Well, we're gonna go back deeper into that hole that we created ourselves. So that's why we say that it's hard for us to talk, because we don't know how you're going to react or how you're going to come off as. So that's our biggest fear. It's really a pride and fear thing. Why we
So
don't
is
talk
it
so
easier
much.
for y'all to talk to each other? Like if y'all had a peer group or something like that where y'all could go and just talk?
I think
Before you answer that, I want to answer your question that you asked before. Just before that, I wanted to say, for one, I think parents try to help when it's too late, like it's very bad, or either they didn't already did it. And then two, a lot of times and I'm not talking about my situation, I'm just talking about as a Black community. And a lot of times the Black mothers or fathers be like, well, don't tell anybody that because I don't want it to affect how I look.
back up on the Black community not taking mental health serious. Because we don't take it serious. Now you see why we get double life sentences and without parole. And you know what I'm saying? I'm the Caucasians, I think that's the proper word to say it. The Caucasians instantly, you know what I'm saying, go to a mental health institution and they don't get life. And you see why we as a generation push, okay, what if they were mentally ill? But say you don't know because you never took the time and diagnosed them. And us as a Black community, we pushed away. Like I have a younger sibling. She have ADHD, and it causes her to not focus a lot. It delays her, you know what I'm saying, educational things. And as a Black community, girl, she ain't got that. You don't suffer depression, girl. She this and that. It causes us to be like, so, like you said, they have to keep pushing. We can't do that. We're going to make sure we're mentally and physically straight, because our mental health affects our physical being. You can't even tell. A lot of people cannot tell when a person is depressed. Our generation can. It's the way how they dress. Because when they happy, they dress nice, you know what I'm saying, being normal. But when they depressed, they're baggy. Their smell, they miss their day. You can tell.
They don't eat.
But they're not eating nothing. But we want to learn y'all way, but we want y'all to also understand us and learn our way at the same time. That's why we so big on mental health and not just we want this and that. We want to live y'all standard. We want y'all to understand why we want to live our life the way we want to live.
You're on mute.
Do you think it'll be easier if y'all grew up and didn't have any rules? Your parents would never say anything to you, try to guide you in any type of way, just let you live life how you wanted to live. You think that would have been easier?
It will be easier. It will be, if y'all let us live mentally free will, sure. But physically, because like we need that structure and discipline. So when we get older, we can have the same thing and we can, you know, use it on our children. But mentally, that right there shouldn't be a limit on how we should feel or how should we act. It should never be a feeling of that.
And I was gonna say off of what Shanita said, I don't think it'll be easier if we had peers our own age to talk to, because a lot of them just talk about themselves and keep it moving. Like they do a little emotional dump and keep it moving. And it's like, when am I gonna have time to talk to somebody? So you can't even talk to the people that's our own age, because it's not likely that they'll listen either. So it's kind of hard to even find a group that you mess with and, you know, that's not even on some sneaky stuff. You know, just find regular people. It's very hard to do that. They don't like this generation is like, a lot of us put on a mask and fake to be all kinds of stuff. So it's really hard to find genuine people out here too. So I wouldn't really even tell nobody my business.
So with your situation, I guess, how do you feel that someone could help you get to the point where you feel comfortable talking? Like with Kay Denise is saying, you know, for her to, she want people to listen and take her feelings into account. But for you, you're saying, yes, I want you to listen, but at this point, I don't feel like you're going to listen or even, you know, make me feel like my feelings are invalid. So what would you need?
What was the question?
What would you need?
Are you talking about just from a parent or in general? What would I need in general?
No, in general, like for you, like what would you need from people in our generation and older, like to help you process, or even kids that's coming up now? Like, how can an adult help them not get to where y'all are?
Be open-minded, let down the disrespect. Like, I feel like if we get an ounce of, you know, something that they wouldn't say, or, you know, just something, you know, out of the norm, they like completely shut it off. No, done. We're done talking about that. So I feel like if they're more open-minded and they just let us express how we want to, or how we can, how we feel like, that will help everybody a ton, because as you listen to people talk, you will hear what they need. They'll tell you what they need.
All right, y'all, exclude the noise. I'm still, you know what I'm saying, I'm an RA on campus, so we're still moving people in due to, you know, the high cases of it. But picking up what Melissa said, my thing, I need reassurance. Very much so. A lot of people didn't take my bullying serious when I was young. I still get bullied nowadays because I'm a dark female. I'm the darkest female that my mom produced. I'm the darkest skin. I get talked about, I get called a burnt biscuit. So that being said, it's just, we don't know how, because the older I get, the more insecure I am with my body, and the more insecure I am with a lot of things. And really, it's just the effect of people, older people not taking serious of being bullied or not know how to handle that situation. So like, we want, not only that, we want to educate the older generation of how you should take on bullying, or how our feelings kind of sort of do get hurt. Because like, we cannot, family hurt you worse than more than friends. It really hurt, because how we're blood and you're doing me dirty, and I'm like, I came to you for this hurt, for this reason, and you just there to hurt me.
And I guess I would say as well, this is just an example. Let's say, you know, I'm in high school or middle school, one of my friends got pregnant. We need an adult to go to. So it is kind of like they can't go to their parents because their whole family will know their business after that. So it's kind of like we have to know that we can trust them. Do you get what I mean? We have to actually know that you won't tell our business, that you actually have our best interest in heart as well. So it's kind of like, I don't feel like a lot of us had that guidance of who we can go to and fully trust, like with something like that. So I feel like that's another thing that can also help the generation as well. They can have somebody to talk to.
Yeah, so I mean, from what I hear, it sounds like, you know, y'all want to be listened to more. You want to make sure that you're being heard. And, you know, because of everything that's going on, you don't feel like you're being heard, and you can't really express yourself. And so hopefully for the parents that are listening, we'll take that from it. But let me also say that as y'all are expressing yourself, be mindful that we don't understand it, and it may take us a while to understand it. So, you know, just like we're gonna have to have patience and try to listen to y'all are gonna have to have patience and try to make sure that we understand it if we have an open mind about trying to like really hear you. Like y'all don't want to be dismissed. We don't want to be dismissed either. Y'all don't want to be talked too crazy. We don't want to be talked too crazy either. So what you're wanting for yourself is what we're also wanting from you as well. So, you know, just be mindful of that when you have those moments and you are having those conversations. And I want to say with that, thank y'all for being here and being open and being honest. I feel like, it did help us try to see y'all point of view a little more with everything that's going on. And hopefully, something will change soon and y'all will be able to express yourself in the way that you need to be okay. Because I feel like, if y'all were able to express yourself and not feel judged or, looked at crazy or whatever, y'all would probably feel better with that. So thank y'all for that. And now we're going to move on to our next segment.
Yes, we're going to move on to minding other people's business. So I'm pretty sure y'all seen this because it kind of resurfaced a couple of times on a few people's platforms. But it was, it was two Black men. They have a podcast. And they were basically just saying, we have a preference and it's not Black women. And they were being really rude and really snobby about it. And like when I was watching him talk, he was looking at the other guy for validation the entire time he was talking about it. So it was kind of showing that he don't even really feel that way. He's just going on the trend or just being a follower. And basically they were being really rude about Black people. They were just saying like, I'm not gonna say it's not our fault, but it's just our preference that we don't like them. And they didn't understand that it was more of they're talking down on us rather than just the preference. They weren't understanding that it was a preference. Have y'all seen that?
No, but I mean, I agree. There's a difference between you having a preference versus you saying you don't want to talk to this complete race, especially when you are that same race. So to me, that's not okay. And it's like, what makes them feel that, another race is better than their own race? Did they go into details as to why they didn't prefer?
I believe it was just clips, but it was mainly focused. It was focused on this other celebrity and how she walked out. So I think I would have to watch the entire thing to hear exactly what they said. And I want to watch it. I want to listen to it.
It also makes me wonder if they were just doing it for attention. So it's kind of like, I know if I say something bad or negative about Black women or whatever a topic is, it's going to get picked up either for something good or something bad, but it doesn't matter as long as it get picked up and get spread and go viral. I don't care what the reason is for it. So I think that could have been, what was going on too. But otherwise, it's like, why would you have Black women on your platform and you don't even like Black women? Like,
yes.
Picking on that, with my opinion on that whole situation, because I literally watched that whole entire video. My thing is, Black women, I'm gonna just say, Black women they put this stereotype that we're always angry, we're always rude, we always do this. But we have a tolerance, we have a level of where we can tolerate bullcrap. And when we get to that level, we try our best not to come out angry and snap back. But when we snap back in a professional way. Or either we just walk off and leave the whole conversation. We leave no comment. We wish nothing but the best and keep kicking. Because it's not worth our time.
And Shanita, you asked, did they say why? And they did say they were talking about an app called BLK. It's called Black. And he was saying, have you ever used it? And the guy was like, no, unless you want a whole bunch of LaQuishas. And, he was saying stuff like that. It was very like, are you serious right now? Yeah.
It was very
like, he knows all Black women are like this. I don't even know why he said that.
Yeah, so I agree with what Shanita said. It's kind of like, it's self-hate. So it's like, because these are people, this is your sister, your mom, like people that look like the people that you care about. So how can you talk about them and still love, the people that are the closest to you? I mean, that's how I see it.
And I would just say, it kind of says a lot about the people who even date those type of guys, because they will say the same thing to you. Like, do you get what I mean? It's kind of like you're validating what they're doing, and they're going to do it to you soon. Like, they don't respect women if they're knocking down they're knocking down their skin color. You know what I'm saying? This kind of says a lot about people that are around.
With picking up what Melissa said, it's like the main question that goes through my head every time I hear anything dealing with women, period. Who raised you? Or here's the other one. Did you ever have a father figure in your life? or did anybody taught you how to talk to a lady, how to respect a woman, how to do this? That be going through my head on when guys try to talk to me like how they disrespected the woman, like the Black women owner. Cause who are you to me? Because it sounds like you have daddy issues, you have abandonment issues, you have a lot of things going on just to make yourself look good, and it makes you look bad.
Right.
Yep.
That's true.
100% agree. So yeah. Thank you for the minding other people's business segment, Melissa. We appreciate that. And actually, that's going to be it for today on the Melanated Opinion. And thank you again, Kay Denise, for being here and sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you guys for being here and listening. And hopefully you got something out of, you know, what the younger generation is going through that you'll be able to take back to your loved ones as well. And if you have a topic you want us to go over, you can always hit us up on at the Melanated Opinion on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter is the Melanated O. And you can also send us an email at the melanatedopinion@gmail.com. And thank you for watching.